it kind of ties into this theme that I spoke about last time about like why do people buy Andgo? What is that value prop that people have that see in Andgo? And the conversation kind of covered it, in a way, and it really kind of like set a foundation. And the foundation is like why is this service needed? Why is this functionality needed? And to get a bit of a background, kind of going back to okay, how we got here, and the functionality is in response to a key catalyst for a lot of our prospective accounts is reducing premium labor spend. There is a ton of money being spent by our prospects on nurse agencies. These are external agencies, staffing agencies that they bring in when they don't have the people, to work internally. And so the question is, okay, well, how did we get here? And really kind of connecting the dots back, it was going back to COVID, right? COVID hit and they actually restricted services. So that was that initial wave. So you actually had units closed down. So you had this abundance of nursing. As the pandemic wore on, what you found was nurses got ill. They had to miss work. And so this really kind of created a bit of a short staff situation. This resulted in more people covering for more people. So, really, really short staffed, couldn't bring other people in, had to work 24 hours, 36 hours in a row, multiple times a week. Then they would get ill. And so then this would ultimately lead to burnout. And this burnout is sort of left a bit of an exodus from this profession. Folks saying, I'm not interested in working for this anymore. Maybe they go over to that traveling nurse side because they get that flexibility. And so what that created was sort of a large deficit from a staffing pool standpoint, and every other industry really recovered from the pandemic from a labor standpoint. You look at the statistics and manufacturing, public sector resources, they're all back to pre-pandemic levels. Every industry except healthcare, and the reason for healthcare is because of this burnout that occurred. These folks had to keep working through it. They had to cover for everyone and got to the point where they just got exhausted and said enough's enough. So what ends up happening is to make up this deficit, these healthcare organizations turn to these external agencies, and the economics of these external agencies is like 4 times more expensive than your internal staff. And